Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Hey, welcome. Thanks for joining us. 888-900-3393. I guess right away we should notice the weight loss that Jeffy's experienced. Wow, that's a little extreme. I think you went just a bit too far there. The 55 pounds thing was good, but it's an indication of what happens when you take Ozempic every day instead of once a week.
I mean, he was getting frustrated that he was at the 55 and holding.
Got to a plateau. And so, we went a little far there.
He went a little too far. We didn't. He did.
Yeah, he did.
So if you're listening to the podcast, just know it's Halloween time.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a skeleton right there across from us. So that's kind of fun.
It's fun.
Also, yesterday we failed this audience in a major way.
We're going to do this, huh?
Yeah, we got to lead with our mistakes, Keith. You know that.
All right, fine.
So please forgive us for failing to wish everyone a happy Indigenous Peoples Day yesterday.
Yep.
An oversight that will not happen again. Talked with every member of the show's staff, and my promise to you is that we will never let an Indigenous Peoples Day pass by again without not only a mention, but we will devote a significant amount of our day to discussing Indigenous peoples.
Okay. All right.
Do note, please, that it's not Indigenous people, it's Indigenous peoples. Just to really rub it in for Keith.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
In fact, Pat Head James 37144 is helping us commemorate the special day. Yesterday, he sent us this tweet in 1487, 5 years before Columbus's arrival. The Aztec people sacrificed as many as 84,000 men, women, and children at the reconsecration of the Great Pyramid of Tenochtitlan.
Sure, yes.
There's something like that.
Yes.
Tenochtitlan.
All right, don't anglify it.
Anyway, that's what 84,000 people.
I think they were alive
sacrificed.
too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's part of their thing. So happy Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yeah. Sorry that Christopher Columbus guy came over here and
damn it, that guy brought with him the smallpox blankets.
That too. Well, okay, yes.
Yeah,
but
let's not forget the smallpox blankets. He purposely coated them in smallpox and then handed them out to the Indigenous peoples. Bastard.
I feel like Western civilization has really helped the world advance, but that's probably just my white-centric view on things.
Right, exactly.
So why did we come to work yesterday? I should have just stayed out a little longer.
It's a good question.
Just to honor the Indigenous Peoples Day. So shame on me. Look, get better at fighting wars.
Right.
I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, it's a meritocracy, and I know that you want us to feel bad about all the Europeans conquering
all the victories we had.
All the victories, but
over the Indigenous peoples.
Life's been pretty good the last few hundred years. So,
would you rather have it be what it was then?
Yeah, congratulations.
Would that be better?
You got a federal holiday. That's your participation trophy for being here first.
I often wonder that, though. What would have happened had settlers from Europe not come here?
Right.
Would it still be?
You know what would happen? It would have been Native American tribe after Native American tribe continuing to fight each other and kill each other for territory.
Right.
Just the same. It's just that the white conquerors, they're bad because they're white, but we don't say anything about the other Native American tribes.
And in all honesty, we're not saying that the Europeans didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
The settlers here, Americans did break treaty after treaty with them. That should not have happened. However, it is often portrayed as if they were just this peaceful Nirvanian people who just got along and everything was beautiful and they just took care of the land and each other and it was wonderful. And there were butterflies everywhere.
There were rivalries. They hated each other.
Oh, my gosh. There was...
My goodness.
Yeah, it was It was not as it is portrayed today.
And I'm actually in honor of, and I again thank you for speaking on my behalf and everyone else associated with the program's behalf for missing out yesterday and letting that slip through. But I'm wearing my Indigenous Peoples. I'm celebrating here today with my Cleveland Indians T-shirt. Hopefully you guys can.
You're dead naming them.
Rebound against the Yankees. What's that?
You're dead naming the Cleveland Indians.
No, I'm honoring their tradition.
All right.
Old.
What are they now? Are they
Guardians.
Guardians? Yeah.
And in fact, I was watching the game over the weekend, and the way one guy was standing there for the camera shot, it kind of blocked, like he was standing, and it's the same script, same font, whatever. And so it almost looked like it was Indians. It was Ian's. And it just whatever. I was like, for a moment there, it felt like I was in 1995 or something.
Right. Back in the day, before we had to worry about all this stuff.
And that's right, Indians fans. I specifically picked 1995 as my reference point because that's the year the Braves beat the Indians in the all-Native American World Series.
And Sunday, during the Baltimore Ravens Washington Commanders football game on CBS, Tony Romo gave us a little throwback when he dead named the Commanders and referred to them as the Redskins at one point.
Big Benogany was in on the coverage.
And the Redskins are lucky. Go ahead and run that. You're going to see the edge. And right there, Romo stands.
So everybody in the truck is freaking out right now. Tony Romo said Redskins. Get in his ear. Get in his ear. Tell him it's Commanders.
Close to me, and then I'll make you miss. And fortunate for Washington to be able to plaster that one on the outside.
Awkward silence. Tony, it's Commanders. Say it.
Commanders are doing all right here, though, Jim.
Somebody was in his ear right there. You said Redskins. You got to go back and say Commanders. You said Redskins.
I love how Jim Nance played it smart. He just
left it alone. That was smart. Jim Nance is great. That's amazing, though. Because that's who they are to 90% of football fans.
Yes.
Nobody considers them the Commanders. That doesn't evoke any sort of nostalgia or feeling of any kind for the Washington football team. It's the Redskins. That's what they were. That's what they are. That's what they've always been. It's just stupid that they had to do this. It's ridiculous. And again, what about Florida State? Why aren't they hassled? Well, because the Seminoles like it, and they've made it known. But so did others. So did other Native American groups. 90% of them said, yeah, it's fine. We like it, in fact. But that didn't matter because white people had to be offended on their behalf. And so it had to be changed. Oh, man. And Keith, though you failed to give a shout out to Indigenous Peoples on the program
I know.
yesterday, you did manage to tweet out something after the show.
Yeah, I tried to make up for it. Yeah, I hope this suffices here.
I mean, I hope. Put on the Jackie specs for this tweet. On this Indigenous Peoples Day, here's artwork designed by Native American Walter Blackie Wetzel.
That's right. Good old Walter Blackie.
Really?
Wetzel.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. He was a chief in the Blackfeet Nation and president of the National Congress of American Indians. He served in the John F. Kennedy administration, hung out with Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy. And here's his artwork.
Yeah.
There's a plaque that's currently displayed inside the Commander Stadium.
That's right. They actually allow the logo to exist somewhere in there.
Isn't that
probably off in a corner. I don't know where. Huh. But his family's proud of that, by the way.
Yeah.
And one of the things I didn't tweet out yesterday was the centuries of Native Americans referring to themselves as Redskins in documented papers and accounts.
Yeah. And we've talked about the genesis of the name.
We have.
It was in honor of people, and they were involved in it, and it was, I mean, none of that matters, though, now.
And they're referred to us as Whiteskins. Oh, no!
That hurts me. That hurts me to the core.
Okay.
Doesn't that crush you?
Yeah.
Because I'm crushed.
In fact, I should have worn my my Caucasians T-shirt. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow, where it features the Redskins logo, but it's a white dude, and I'm supposed to be offended by that. Hell no, I bought that T-shirt. You kidding me?
I mean,
awesome.
Have we ever been offended by any of that?
Oh,
Crackers.
Cracker. I love that.
I don't care.
Whitey,
honky, whatever. It doesn't really bother me. But we haven't experienced what others have. So, all right. We are less than 3 weeks away. No, exactly 3 weeks away.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
3 weeks from today is the election. Are you talking to your friends and neighbors, especially those who are maybe leaning toward Harris because they don't like Trump for whatever reason? Oh, please, by all that is holy, take them aside, share with them important information about what, I keep hearing, well, Trump lies. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Have you heard or seen or met the Harris-Walz campaign? Any of them? They're all incredible liars. Everything they say, everything that comes out of their mouths is a lie. So Tim Walz, back in 2020, this is fun because, on this commemoration of Indigenous Peoples Day.
Better late than never.
Yeah.
Pat.
We go back to what Tim Walz said in 2020 about the Christopher Columbus statue.
Oh, gosh.
It was being torn down, right? Weren't they?
Yeah, in front of the state capitol there in St. Paul.
Okay.
Yeah, he liked this.
It was an act of civil disobedience that we need to make sure people feel that there is a proper outlet to address what are legitimate concerns around what they view as a genocidal monument that they have to walk to in their democracy.
Oh, gosh. Don't. Stay focused here, Pat. Don't go off on the democracy thing. Let's just
unbelievable, though.
Keep it focused.
It's unbelievable.
This guy sucks.
So it's perfectly acceptable for them to tear down a statue.
Yes, vandalism is okay.
Perfectly
Destruction
acceptable.
of property is okay.
Yeah.
If the government endorses it. If you go and you lay rubber down on a painted rainbow flag in the middle of an intersection, no, find that all points bulletin.
You're gonna go to jail.
We got to arrest this cat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but no, it's fine if it's a white dude. Yeah.
Wow.
Bro.
And it's unconscionable to refer to Christopher Columbus as a genocidal maniac of some sort. He did not commit genocide. While he was not a terrific governor, perhaps, maybe not the best overseer of a government, the man was not into genocide, did not commit genocide. If you're talking about accidental germs that passed between people because some people weren't protected against them, they didn't have immunity built up against anything because they hadn't been exposed to it. I mean, that's one thing. The whole smallpox situation, it's quite another to accuse him of genocide. Unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. Yes. And here he was talking about a little bit down the road. And Harris's border plan.
Oh, yeah, a couple weeks ago. Yeah, we played a clip from that Shannon Bream interview he did on Fox News. But, here he is talking about that, yeah.
The vice president has made it clear that she has policies that make a difference. Her border policies are the most strongest, the fairest we've seen.
The most strongest.
A lot of people, including your own party, would not join that statement. There are millions of people who have come here over the last few years that... they see this as an open policies. Border.
Well, simply, we have a policy. Donald Trump sees it as a political. Look, James Langford in Oklahoma, the Border Patrol agents, the Wall Street Journal, the Chamber of Commerce, all said pass this legislation. You have to have Congress to authorize 1,500 new border agents. You have to have Congress to authorize DOJ to speed adjudications on these asylum claims. Those are things that would actually work. Donald Trump told us for 4 years he would deal with this. He didn't. He didn't build his wall, 2%. Mexico didn't pay for it. This is a real bill that has bipartisan support, it has the experts on board, and it starts to tackle these issues. And we don't have to resort to demonizing people. We don't have to resort to making up or crafting stories, as Senator Vance said he did. Those things were not happening in Springfield, but it doesn't mean that we can't pass a piece of legislation to strengthen our border. That's what Kamala Harris is talking about.
Well,
She's talking
Governor,
about solving the problem.
That piece of legislation does include the wall that you guys have been so, you've disparaged that. I mean, the Vice President has as well, so I don't know if she really intends to move forward with that. But it was negotiated by 3 or 4 senators, and many Republicans came out against it long before President Trump indicated he didn't like it either.
That doesn't get said enough.
Yeah, it was dead on arrival. Trump did not kill that bill. He wasn't in favor of it because there was a lot not to be in favor of in the bill. But it was dead on arrival, and they said that from the beginning. These people are such liars. Good for Shannon Bream for calling him out there. That's awesome.
One thing I love Democrats do is they get like one Republican that they can cite.
And it's bipartisan.
And they constantly reference just that one person.
Yes.
Whether it's Senator Lakeford says or Liz Cheney and her dad. They like Kamala. Who gives a flying crap?
And then experts.
Yes.
What experts? Who are you talking about? You just throw that word out, this generalized word, experts? Okay, cite them. Who? Who are we talking about? Are they partisan experts? Are they Democrats? Are they liberals? Who are these people? Okay, it's so frustrating. Really frustrating. But here's Bill Clinton. I mean, everybody's out there talking about immigration right now.
Well, but Byron Donalds, though, he referenced that clip specifically, and then he tweeted out why that Senate border plan failed. Can we please put all the many reasons, as cited by Congressman Byron Donalds, as to why what the left and Tim Walz and Kamala Harris...
And thank you for doing this. Thank you for finally talking about why the bill failed.
Right.
They keep talking about the 1,500 border agents it would have provided. But it would codify catch and release in law. It would let in 1.8 million illegals every year. Yep. It would fund sanctuary cities, fund NGOs moving illegals around the country, provide lawyers to illegal aliens, work permits to illegals. There is nothing about deporting illegals. No immediate wall funds, weak asylum screening, and then $60 billion for Ukraine. Another $60 What does that have to do with the border bill? Nothing, which is one of the reasons why the bill was killed. So we should keep that handy. We should keep that because they bring that up all the time. And there's 8 really good reasons, at least, why that bill was voted down. Here's Bill Clinton on immigration.
You got a case in Georgia not very long ago, didn't you? They made an ad about a young woman who'd been killed by an immigrant.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have happened.
Oh, wait, what?
But if they're all properly vetted, and that doesn't happen, and America is not having enough babies to keep our populations up.
What?
So we need immigrants that have been vetted to do work. There wouldn't be a problem. And he couldn't keep people all torn up and upset.
Whose side are you on, Bill Clinton? Thank you. Thank you. So he covered a lot of ground there, right?
He did.
So he admitted that the Biden-Harris policies causes the death of innocent American women. Right?
Okay, yes.
He also pushed the white replacement theory, which I thought was just a crazy right-wing conspiracy, right? And by the way, he's talking about, we need babies in this country. Well, maybe if your party stopped aborting them en masse.
Right.
My gosh. I mean, that was his...
There was a lot there.
He was making the pitch for Trump.
Who was it that was supposed to vet it? Vet this illegal who killed the girl in Georgia? Was that Donald Trump? Was he supposed to vet him from Mar-a-Lago? You just admitted that they weren't doing their job. Incredible.
Yeah. And by the way, look at this. Leading report. I printed this up here. Look at the population increase of illegals in just a handful of states there picked out for reference. We don't have a graphic for this, Joe, but I think that's a fascinating statistics there.
So this is illegal immigration populations that have increased.
Yeah, this is the percentage
in
they've
swing
increased.
states.
Yeah, this is what they've increased.
Only 401% in Georgia, 401%. In North Carolina, 446%. 241% in Pennsylvania. 734% in Arizona. 562% in Nevada. In Michigan, 775%. And in Wisconsin, 467%.
We're good.
Yeah, we're fine.
We're fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
We're fine.
I don't even want to hear it. Things are going so well.
Oh, remember that bombshell report we had from ICE talking about the tens of thousands, or talked about all the murder convictions, right? And the illegals that were running free here that were convicted. Yeah, this is a Fox News story. Immigrant murder convictions, tens of thousands higher than ICE's bombshell figures. So in other words, it's actually worse than that horrible report from ICE. I mean, it never ends, man.
With the 13,000 murderers?
Yeah, with the 13,400 convicted. And it's apparently tens of thousands higher.
Oh, man.
Whatever.
Wow.
According to a data expert, yes. I mean, you had the woman here that was pistol whipped in her home, and the Venezuelan gang threatened to cut off her fingers. I mean, these gangs are they are taking over more than apartment complexes. They're coming to a town near you. Be prepared.
But they haven't taken over every apartment complex.
Okay. All right, that's fair.
Okay?
Yeah.
Don't start exaggerating, claiming that they've taken over all apartment complexes. They haven't.
I apologize.
Yes. They haven't.
Yes. Listen to yourself, Martha. Good job,
so
JD
good.
Vance.
Clinton had more on immigration. Listen to this.
Sure did.
Platter a new direction to manage an immigration crisis in a tough time where there's all this upheaval all over the world, where there are border problems all over the world, where millions of people are trying to escape the misery they're in. And other people are saying, well, I want to do what I can and take what I can, but maybe there's a limit to how much we can do.
Right.
In other words, I don't think Americans are anti-immigration, they're anti-chaos.
Thank you.
Right?
Jeez.
They don't want us to do more than we can, but they recognize, at least most people do, we got the lowest birth rate we've had in
There we go.
well over 100 years. We're not at replacement level, which means we got to have somebody come here if we want to keep growing the economy. Unless one of you is one of these artificial intelligence geniuses and figured out how we can all grow with no work, which I'm not sure would be good for us. I think,
Okay.
All right.
Whatever, babbles.
Wow.
Okay.
Jeez.
So what he's advocating is what we're trying to avoid is what happened in Europe, right? He's not talking about growing the economy. He's talking about funding social programs and Social Security and the benefits that we need to keep. We got to keep having workers that pay taxes so that we can fund all of our promises we've made to the previous generations. I mean, look what that's why the floodgates open in Europe. That's why they're overrun by the third world in their countries, all throughout their continent. We're trying to avoid that here. But I mean, is he standing in front of a Harris-Walz sign or a Trump sign?
Yeah, it's weird. It's really strange.
He looks bad too.
Oh, he looks and sounds bad.
The handshake going.
Yeah.
Microphone.
Sad. And here he was back in, just a reminder of where he stood in 1995.
I know.
Okay, so almost 30 years ago, here's what he had to say.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more, by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens.
Wait,
in the
what?
budget I will present to you, we will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes, to better identify illegal aliens in the workplace as recommended by the commission headed by former Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
Wow. Yeah. That tune has changed.
I mean, even Newt Gingrich was clapping behind him there. I mean,
yeah. I mean, they've changed their tunes so much on illegal immigration. It's stunning.
Yes, it is.
We will flash back on Kamala Harris and illegal aliens in just a second. First, let me tell you about Birch Gold. You know, there's a lot at stake in this upcoming election. We all know that. But regardless of who's sitting in the White House, the fuse on the economy has already been lit. Even 4 years of a conservative presidency won't be enough to turn the tide on our $35 trillion national debt. And if the left wins, it's like throwing gas on a dumpster fire. You don't have all that much control over the election outcome, except your vote. But what you can do right now is protect your savings by diversifying into gold with the help of Birch Gold Group. For millennia, gold has stood firm in the face of greedy governments, economic upheavals, and global strife, and it can protect you right now. Birch Gold will help you convert an IRA or 401k into an IRA in physical gold, tax-free and penalty-free, and it doesn't cost you a penny out of pocket either. In the past 4 years, the buying power of the U.S. dollar has declined a lot. The price of gold has increased 40%. Coincidence? Yeah, I don't think so. Text the word PAT to 989898. Get your free info kit on gold and trust Birch Gold to protect your savings. Again, just text PAT to the number 989898 today.
Pat Gray returns.
Here's a flashback to what Kamala said about illegals in the past.
Your immigrant status, whatever it is, does not, in our mind's eye, designate you as a criminal.
Oh! Hit me with that one more time. Just let that soak in for a minute.
Your immigrant status, whatever it is, does not, in our mind's eye, designate you as a criminal.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Good. So just come on in. It doesn't matter. We're fine with it. You're not a criminal. You're just a wonderful person who just happens to ignore our laws. Don't worry about it. We know you'll be a fabulous citizen afterward.
Right.
You know.
It's got to get through this part.
Yeah. You just got to get through the illegal crossing and then either the tax evasion, the fraud, or the identity theft. We'll ignore all that, too. That's not a problem. So we just expect all that. Okay?
Boy.
Jeez.
And we're the only nation, well, that's not true. Western European nations are expected to just go right along with that, too.
Yes. Yes. And I'm sure that's sustainable, right? We can keep that going forever. We just send us all your poor and only poor. Send us all your poor, your criminals, your rapists, drug addicts, your rapists, your murderers. Send them all.
And the pedophiles that are coming up here with the kids.
Please, just send it all. The dregs of the earth from every country. Just send them.
Yes, Pat. Yes.
Send them.
And continue to send your tax dollars to NGOs that help fund these pedophiles in their little trek northward.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Be sure to do that.
It'll be really great that way.
We are insane.
Oh, my gosh. No.
But don't push back on that, because then clearly you're a xenophobic hater who hates.
Yes.
And you don't want that.
That's correct.
You don't want that label.
I mean, have you seen the Statue of Liberty? It's welcoming everyone here. Everyone. I think it's right there on the plaque. It says, send everybody who's downtrodden and poor and criminal. Yeah. Send us your criminal element, your drug addicts.
Okay.
Yeah. your poorest. Send them all here.
That's on the plaque.
That's on the plaque. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's in the fine print of the plaque.
You never know what you're going to learn from
right?
Pat Gray.
Right. Exactly.
Little history nuggets.
Next time you're in New York, check that out. I'm pretty sure it's right there.
You're not going to get that kind of information on any other show whatsoever.
No, you're not. No, you are not.
I want my goddamn Trump back.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Got some tweets here. Don Walker tweets on Indigenous Peoples Day. Do you honor the slavery or cannibalism? Oh, both. Both. For sure. You don't want to shortchange
Tough call.
Indigenous Peoples Day. Dirty Mule 94. So how long am I supposed to leave my Indigenous Peoples tree up? Well, now that's up to you.
Okay.
I usually leave mine up for a month anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't leave it up until some random Italian dude on a boat from Spain shows up to chop it down? Or?
No, because we don't allow that anymore. We don't allow them to show up from Spain or Italy. Bastards. Rowdy Introvert. Celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day is a good start, but come July 4th, you better also celebrate British Sympathy Recognition Day, where you partake of tea and crumpets instead of barbecue. No dental appointments. And absolutely no fireworks.
I love it. I love it. British Sympathy Day.
Carl Smith, say we agree to give the indigenous people back their land. How far back do we go? Or do we just give it to the last tribe who stole it from earlier tribes?
Amen.
That's a tough conundrum. It really is. It's a tough one. Just give it back, okay, to somebody and let them work it out, I guess. I don't know.
Let them work it out. Just
so it's not a whitey.
Yeah.
Just give it back to somebody who's not white and doesn't have European heritage. Mm-hmm. So we know that the United States of America spends a lot of money. And it's a lot of money that we don't have because already we're $35 trillion in debt. That's a debt that can never be paid off. Unless you're talking about outrageous kind of inflation, where it's a Weimar Republic type of thing, where your dollars are basically meaningless, and it costs you $1 trillion to get a loaf of bread. Maybe that's what we're waiting for, so we can pay China back and everybody else we owe money to. But so far, just this year, and we are up to October 15th, so we're well into the year. So we've only given $24.4 billion to Ukraine so far this year. $11.3 billion to Israel.
Oh man, no.
$1.95 billion to Ethiopia. Okay. All right.
All righty.
$1.6 billion to Jordan. That's just because they're friends. We keep paying them to be our friend.
That's about right.
$1.4 billion to Egypt because there's only, 84 million people in Egypt. They really need our help. Really? Egypt can't get along on their own? Seriously?
Okay, this next one, brace yourself for.
$1.1 billion to Afghanistan. Okay, who is run by the Taliban.
I feel like...
Jeez.
Like we've already paid them.
Yeah, it does seem that way, doesn't it?
In many, many, many ways.
$1.1 billion to Somalia. $1 billion, just $1 billion to Yemen. Basically hates our guts. $987 million is all to the Congo. $896 million to Syria.
Bro.
And just $9,000 per illegal that has entered the United States. So $9,000 per illegal alien. Yeah, it's hundreds of millions.
We're
if not
taking
billions
care
of
of
dollars.
the Americans who lost everything
in Hurricane Helene.
Yeah, right?
They're going to get $750. Again, the generational wealth that they're given right now is so generous of the U.S. government. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, and almost $1 billion has from FEMA has gone to illegals. Like at the same time, like somebody posted this thing about how Mayorkas was crying poor mouth for FEMA. Look, we just don't have the money. This was while I was out. We don't have the money for the hurricane stuff. We need more money.
Yeah.
And then somebody unearthed like these headlines like San Diego unveils a new cultural center for immigrants at $20 million price tag or something. You're just like, what?
And that's happening all over the country.
All over the country.
Over and over and over again in every city across the country. That's not just San Diego. That's
right.
Everywhere is doing that.
We are not a serious country.
And then we keep hearing these weird rumors that there are hunting parties looking for FEMA employees. Okay, that's not a conspiracy theory, but don't try to say that Haitians have ever eaten a cat in Springfield, Ohio. But we're going to totally buy in on the left that hunting parties of right-wing kooks are out looking for FEMA employees to kill them. Come on.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that is...
I just can't take it.
That's the way the left operates, man. Yep. As soon as they're backed into a corner on something, they play the victim.
Every single time.
Actually, we're the good guys.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Stop.
Right.
Okay, government agency.
But fortunately, I think most people aren't buying what Kamala Harris has been trying to sell. And CNN, of all people, again, I think they want Trump to win. Because
absolutely, they do.
Seriously, they benefit from him being in the news probably more than anybody else does.
He's good for business.
He's great for their ratings.
Yep.
And they want him back. Do you remember that toward the end of the Trump administration, CNN was actually beating Fox in primetime for a while?
That's right.
Well, that went away. So they want him back now. And they have the numbers among black voters. Check this out.
And sometimes there's a trend line that I never noticed before and make me go, whoa. This is one of them, all right? This is the Democratic margin among black men under the age of 45 in presidential elections. You go back to November of 2012, what do you see? You see Obama by 81. Clinton only won him by 63. Then we're all the way down to Biden last time around by 53. A tremendous drop already. And then you take a look at the average of the most recent polls, and Kamala Harris is up by only 41 points. That is about half the margin that Obama won them by back in November of 2012. And this, I think, is, when Barack Obama goes in last week when he was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, essentially talking to young black men, he made it seem like it was a Kamala Harris specific problem. This is part of a long-standing trend of young black men moving away from the Democratic Party, and Kamala Harris is just the latest to face that magnitude of younger black men going towards the Republicans.
That was most interesting here is the trend line and where some of the biggest drops happened or already happened in this case. How about black men overall?
How about black men overall? It's part of the same picture, We're looking once again at younger black men. It looks like the worst Democratic performance since 1960, since JFK versus Richard Nixon. It's the same thing among black men overall. Again, part of a similar trend, but here actually the drop-off isn't as dramatic, right? Barack Obama won him by 85. Then you see 71 with Clinton, 69. Biden, basically the same thing, holding steady. But here, again, very, very weak. Only a 54-point margin. Now, again, still winning them by a large margin, but considerably lower than what we're used to. Certainly considerably lower what we had during the Obama years. The bottom line is Kamala Harris with younger black men and then black men overall putting in historically weak performance for a Democratic candidate.
Is she getting any relief with black women?
All right. So, we're talking about the trend line, right? And black women, look, she's doing better with black women than she is doing among black men. But here, there isn't a trend line almost until we get to Kamala Harris. So again, this is a black margin among black women. Look, Obama won him by 93, very large margin. Clinton won him by 93, a very large margin. Biden did a little bit worse at 85, but then you look here and you get a 71-point margin. Now, again, these are large margins, but the bottom line is when you're talking about the base of the Democratic Party, you would think that Kamala Harris would do very well among black women based upon history, and of course she would be the first black woman president, but she's actually doing the worst for a Democratic candidate among black women since 1960, if this holds, John.
And again, when you look at the numbers, Harry, whenever you come in, looking at the trends is probably the most important thing.
You got it, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wow. So what is she doing about it? Well, she's scrambling right now to try to shore up the votes of black men and women. Yesterday, she released her plan for black men. Number one, she wants to provide 1 million loans that are fully forgivable to black entrepreneurs and others to start a business. So you're gonna get $1 million loan to start a business if you're black.
That sounds racist. That policy?
A little bit. A little tinge of that.
Okay.
Number two, championing education, training, and mentorship programs that help black men get good paying jobs in high demand industries and lead their communities, including pathways to become teachers. Okay. Number three, she's supporting a regulatory framework for cryptocurrency and other digital assets. So black men who invest in and own these assets are protected.
Wait, so it's only black men who invest in crypto who are going to be protected by her plan?
Right.
Okay.
Fourth, she's launching a national health equity initiative focused on black men that addresses sickle cell disease, diabetes, mental health, prostate cancer, and other health challenges that disproportionately impact them. And the fifth thing she wants to do to shore up the black vote.
What's that, Pat?
She wants to legalize recreational marijuana. And create opportunities for black Americans to succeed in the marijuana industry. Okay. All right. Is that a black thing? I didn't realize that.
Stereotype much?
Wow. Yeah, but it's fine for her. It's fine for her to do.
You know, she may be hemorrhaging black support, as CNN pointed out with those incredible numbers, but she just picked up a huge endorsement. I don't know if you saw this, but Geraldo Rivera has endorsed Kamala Harris.
Uh-oh. It's over now. Now it's over.
Right?
Jeez.
She's going to be on Fox News. Is that tomorrow night with Bret Baier?
I believe so, yes.
Sit down with... You talk about someone who's desperate and trying to find any vote she can.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, we always talk about the fact she doesn't do unfriendly interviews.
Right.
Interviews that aren't incredibly friendly to her. And I think Bret Baier will be probably not as stringent as I'd like, but maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see.
And she's working on details or something to sit down with Joe Rogan. Is that right?
I saw that. Yeah.
Oh, he will destroy her.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that would be.
Because I believe Trump will be with Joe Rogan.
Yes, he's already said yes. So Kamala, we got a place for you right here, right next to the skeleton. Okay. Or you could sit there and we'll move the skeleton over here.
The skeleton stays.
Either way.
That's a deal breaker if you try to get the skeleton out.
No, sorry.
Kamala.
The skeleton stays till Halloween.
She works for a skeleton. So.
Yeah. Oh, really?
She works for a cadaver.
Wow.
Cadaver,
Wow.
97 days left?
Are you speaking disrespectfully of our president?
Wait, he's still president?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was out.
Yeah. No, he's in.
Oh,
he's in.
sorry.
Hold on. That's the rumor. We haven't verified this.
That's true.
When I see that 97 days, man, I think we just have to avoid, knock on wood, Trump becomes president. Mm-hmm. We just have to avoid World War III breaking out for just 3 months. 3 months. Come on, we can do this, y'all.
Because I think, Trump will pull us back from the brink. And that's what we're counting on. Okay, let me tell you about the Jace case. I mean, we've had so many things turn upside down in the economy and our supply chain. And, we had strikes. We have disasters, 2 in a row, weather disasters. Who knows what will be next? But you want to be prepared for any eventuality. And don't forget, China manufactures almost all of our medication, especially antibiotics. We have a factory in the United States that manufactures antibiotics, and we don't use it. We don't get any of our antibiotics from that factory. So what can you do to prepare yourself and your family in case you get a bacterial infection? You can get the Jace case. This is fantastic. All you do is go to jace.com, enter the promo code PAT at checkout, get a discount on your order, but you're going to get 5 antibiotics. Just fill out a simple form. Then a doctor reviews it. Make sure you're not allergic to any of the medication. And then they'll send it to you in the mail. You can get add-ons too, like the EpiPen or ivermectin. There's a whole list. Go online at Jay's Case and check it out. And you'll just be prepared for any eventuality. When you get sick, you've got the medication. I just called again my pharmacy yesterday, and I've been out of certain medications, but I'm also out of the
Libres?
The Libre.
Yeah.
The Libre 3 sensor thing. I haven't had that for, I don't know, a month and a half. So I have no idea where my glucose is right now. Could be sky high. It could be rock bottom. Yeah. I could be about to lapse into a coma. Who knows? I don't know.
That's a fun game.
Because I can't get one. They finally said they'll have it in stock tomorrow. So I'm telling you, shortages are occurring. Wow. They're happening right now. Be prepared. Get a discount on your order by using the promo code PAT at jace.com.
Pat Gray is unleashed.
Oh, you know what else we have to get into and haven't yet is the fact that Christopher Rufo published some claims yesterday that Kamala Harris plagiarized portions of her 2009 book, Smart on Crime. Cited at least 5 sections, he said, were lifted from Wikipedia and other sites. So she apparently just cut and pasted certain sections of her book. And don't worry about it. It's fine. The New York Times said that, Christopher Rufo seized on these 5 paragraphs.
Wait.
But we went to a plagiarism expert, and he said it's not serious.
Oh.
So I don't even want to hear about it. Okay?
Okay.
Enough said.
Wow. So, I mean, that checks out with the way she's been copying Trump's policies.
Right.
So it's just part of the course.
Right. I just saw a headline from the Babylon Bee. She has come up with a brand new book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Called Art of the Deal. In which she outlines a lot of strategies to become a really successful entrepreneur.
And she titled her book Art of the Deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
How does that sound familiar?
I don't know.
Huh. I don't
know. I'm sure it's just something that
I'll let it go.
Is in the back of a lot of our minds, but we just can't come up with that phrase. She did. She did, fortunately. So great. But plagiarism, this may not be the biggest scandal that breaks this month involving her and Timmy Tom Walz.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there's some things brewing with Tim Walz that we're not ready to get into yet, but they could be fascinating.
Could be.
And game-changing. More coming up. 888-900-3393.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Got some tweets here. Megan Maureen tweets, Pat, you haven't realized yet that everything is racist and rooted in white supremacy? Occasionally, it might be due to transphobia or homophobia. Sometimes climate change, but it really all goes back to racism. It's a good reminder. Thank you, Megan. Cackles McKneepad Harris.
Okay. Right.
Christopher Columbus introduced diversity into the New World. He should be praised as a DEI hero.
Okay.
Right. There weren't a lot of whiteys here.
All right.
And then there were. So back off. Right?
I like it.
I like it a lot. If you're for diversity, you're for diversity.
Thank you.
Huh. Mindy XX, Black History gets a whole month. Why do Indigenous peoples only get a day?
Okay.
Walter Hutton, I'm confused by the progressives being upset over Europeans coming to America. Isn't this the land of immigrants? Don't they believe in open borders? And from Marianne, I still have faith that the majority of our country is fed up with the left. We've got this. Trump will become president again. Oh, my. From your lips, Marianne, to God's ears. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Make it so. So let it be written. So let it be done. And I'll be happy. Seriously, can you imagine the celebration we will have on November 6th if it is, well, if we know by then that Donald Trump is the new president?
And how
like
many
that would happen?
And how many liberals? How many cities burn at the hands of liberals?
That's what I'm worried. I don't know. That's a concern.
Yeah,
for sure. That's a real concern because it will happen. I fear it's going to happen. All right, Timmy Walz was out talking about things, being his usual self.
Oh, good. He's so effective too.
so effective. I'm surprised they haven't just sidelined him by now. You know, Tim, listen, I got this. You sit this out and just rest because you're going to need your strength when you become vice president. So how about you stay, I don't know, in Minneapolis or I don't know, somewhere in Canada? Do you have a place there? But I'll take it from here. I'll take it from here, bud. You've done a great job. But because he's embarrassing. Is this where this is a dancing Tim?
Yeah, this is at the end.
So good. Uh-oh. So good. Cut 13.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. Oh, no. He is fun.
Dude. Calm down, please. He's just a spaz. I don't.
And very effeminate. Very, very,
so weird.
Very
so weird.
He's bizarre
and not straight.
Well, he's married to a woman.
You keep saying that, dude.
Yeah. I do?
Yeah.
I don't think I've said it once.
Oh, okay.
He's married to a woman. I will point that out.
Thank you.
So, yeah. He refuses, though, to believe male voters prefer Trump to the Harris-Walz ticket.
And I'm talking here on this one, especially to the guys. You keep hearing about this gap on there. I refuse to admit that that's real because I know that we care deeply. I know these issues matter to you. I know they matter to all of us. We need to get, especially young men, out there to vote. This is not damn WWE type stuff. It's not about, well, it's cool when he talks like this or whatever. It's not cool. It hurts people. And it leads to violence and it undermines our system. That is not cool. Right. And again, they're all talk on this. I guarantee you I can shoot better cousins than them.
What it's about, what it's really about is killing babies, right? That's what it's about. Men being cool enough to admit the babies should be killed. That's what it is about for these people. That and pretending that they're Second Amendment people, like he did with the hunting thing. Is that what he was kind of addressing there? Was it everybody's mocking him because of his failed hunting adventure?
I guarantee I can shoot pheasants better than them.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, bro.
Whatever.
I know.
Everybody, we all saw the clip. We know better. And according to the people who were there, he never fired the gun. Not once. He didn't shoot at anything. So I don't know if he even knows where the trigger is. I bet he's never handled a gun before in his life. That's what it looked like anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been on hunts where I haven't fired either because there just was nothing coming up, so that could explain that. But I don't know that explains it in his case. Yeah, I just think he was afraid he would fall down if he fired.
He didn't want to hurt his shoulder. He said it. That's right. Why he changed to that weapon because he didn't want to hurt his shoulder.
That's great. He also claimed that Donald Trump will turn the army on his political opponents.
Donald Trump over the weekend was talking about using the U.S. Army against people who disagree with him. Just so you're clear about that, that's you. That's what he's talking about. This is not some mythical thing out there. He called it the enemy within.
They keep doing this with Trump. They keep taking things out of context or clear, obvious jokes or exaggerations. I mean, we all know how Donald Trump speaks. But they love to do this with the he's said he will be a dictator on day one thing. Mm-hmm. And that's a reference to an interview he did with Sean Hannity. And they take that completely out of context. Yeah. That starts out with Trump saying, I mean, who doesn't want to see strong borders and a strong military and low taxes and low interest rates and go out and buy a house? Hannity says, well, I play it on purpose, them talking about him being a dictator, because I see what the media is doing now. I put a montage together. They want to call you a dictator, and he plays that montage. And Hannity says, you use the words, I am your retribution. And now before that, you said you've been wronged, and you'd said other words as well. But I want to be very, very clear on this. To be clear, do you in any way have any plans whatsoever, if reelected president, to abuse power, to break the law, to use the government to go after people? You mean like they're using right now, Trump says? So in the history of our country, what's happened to us, again, has never happened before. Over nonsense, over nothing. Made up charges. I often say Al Capone was the greatest criminal of all time, if you like criminals. He was a mob boss, the likes of which Scarface, they called him. And he got indicted once. I got indicted 4 times. I wonder what my father and mother would say looking down. Actually, that's not exactly accurate. I think Capone was indicted 6 times. But he says, I love what I do because we're going to make our country greater than ever before. And that's so important. It's so important. We're going to do things. We're going to close the border day 1. The border gets closed. And day 1.5, we drill. You know, we drill, baby, drill, 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 drill. And probably on day 2, we'll get rid of this ridiculous electric car mandate. So then Hannity jumps in again and says, we almost have to go to break. I want to go back to this one issue, though, because the media has been focused on this and are attacking you. Under no circumstances, you're promising America tonight you would never abuse power as retribution against anybody. And he says, except for day 1. Except for day 1, meaning, and Trump says, I want to close the border and I want to drill. Okay, well, that's not retribution, though. No. We love this guy. He's talking of Hannity here. He says, you're not going to be a dictator, are you? I said, no. Other than day 1, we're closing the border and we're drilling. After that, I'm not a dictator, okay? So what he's saying is he's going to mandate that we close the border and we're going to start drilling again. Is that a dictator? I mean, it's asinine.
If that qualifies as being a dictator, then by that same criteria, then Joe Biden is as well, because those are the exact actions he took 180 degrees different on his day 1. He closed down Keystone and drilling.
Right, day 1.
Day 1, and he opened the border and reversed, what was it, 90-something, 100-something of the executive orders that Trump had in place that secured the border.
Yes.
So, I mean, and that's the thing, is can we all agree that the most, I mean, there are a couple back in the 1800s, but at least in our lifetimes, was 2020 not the most disputed election result that we've faced in our lifetimes? And if someone had any way to justify staying in office and saying, nope, I'm ignoring the election results that have been certified and I'm staying in here, it would have been Donald Trump. And yet he left. Mm-hmm. He didn't start a war. He left on January 20th, 2021. And it was painful to see him walk out of the White House to the helicopter. Painful. And yet he did it. And so the left is saying he'll be a dictator? Jim Crow 2.0 if this man gets elected. He's been president for 4 years, and those were pretty damn good years, 3.5, until COVID came along. And so stop this. Stop it. I mean, that's all they've got is fear.
Right. They're fearmongers, and that is what they have to do. They have to take everything he says out of context, exaggerate it, lie about it, and I'm just sick of it. Sick and tired of it. So back to Tampon Tim. He also denied abandoning law enforcement as governor during the
You yourself
pandemic.
have faced some criticism in the past for what some have called your lack of support for law enforcement. What do you say to people who believe that if you and Vice President Kamala Harris take office, local law enforcement will lose funding and their ability to protect communities?
Well, that's false. Vice President Harris funded more than President Trump's proposals did during his budgets. In Minnesota, I had made the largest investment in state history into law enforcement and community safety. I have been there with them every step of the way.
Ugh,
this guy.
Man. And then he blamed Trump for all of Kamala's failures. Cut 18.
We're focused on bringing prices down, focusing on the things middle-class families care about, and then focusing on tackling the big issues like Medicare and stay-at-home care for seniors. Those are really innovative ideas.
Yet polls show that many Americans and Pennsylvanians think the economy was better over the Trump administration, and they liked his tax cuts. They helped everyone.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Well, the fact of the matter is that he left with 10 million people out of work, 9 million jobs closed, and we were in the middle
There was
of
a
the global
pandemic,
I don't think people want to go back to tens of thousands of Americans dying.
No, we don't want to go back to the pandemic. No, we don't want to do that. We don't want another pandemic, which is what shut down so many businesses. So, yeah, people were out of work for a while. That wasn't Trump's doing. If Trump was in the laboratory manufacturing COVID-19 like the Chinese did, and then he released it on the American populace, then you could blame him for that. But he wasn't, and he didn't, so you can't. Oh, man. Oh, these people just drive me out of my mind. Anytime in life you have to make a big change, it's hard. This is especially true when you're planning to buy or sell a home. It's really complicated, takes a lot of time, a lot of jumping through hoops, and it's incredibly stressful. The stakes are probably as high as they ever get in terms of financial decisions that you're ever going to make in your life. So obviously you need a real estate agent to help you with all of that. Somebody who really knows what they're doing, somebody who's been successful at doing it and is really committed to the process and really knows the market, knows what buyers are looking for, knows how you can get the most home for your money, where you want to live with your kids, and where you're going to get into the best school district and all of those things. Real estate agents I trust. We pair you up with the top selling real estate agent in your area. This is somebody who knows the best practices, somebody who understands the crazy housing market, somebody who's a team leader and a closer, and somebody you can trust. So if you're thinking about buying or selling or doing both because you're relocating, get in touch with them. This is a free service we provide for you. Real Estate Agents I Trust. The name says it all. realestateagentsitrust.com.
Join the conversation online at Pat Unleashed. Pat Gray will return after this.
Over at Kexi Cookies, our pumpkin pecan bread is now available. Today might be the last day. It's going really fast because I think it dropped yesterday. I forgot to mention it, but it's selling very quickly anyway. So just a limited amount available today. Pumpkin bread bursting with spices, pecans, pumpkin flavor. Really, really good. And, of course, the Halloween box, I think that's sold out. But the Halloween cookies are still available.
Oh, those are so good.
Yeah, really good stuff.
I like the warm one. You had the little gummy worm on top. So good.
Nice.
Kexi.com. KEKSI.com. Eric Wolf tweets, why is the clock in the control room an hour ahead this morning? Thanks for noticing.
I'm in Eastern
don't
time.
know.
I'm Eastern time.
Really?
Yeah, I'm in the coast.
All right.
Who knows?
Why? I mean, isn't that control? Aren't we linked to the internet with that?
We are linked to the internet.
So why?
All my clocks are wrong. Every single
Why?
clock. I don't know who to trust.
I have a theory.
Huh?
My theory is these clocks were manufactured years and years and years ago, before 2006, right? Because I think it was 2006-ish that Congress changed the daylight saving time and moved it up a few weeks, right? right? Because now Halloween is in broad daylight when it used to be in the dark.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think
we should be falling back, though, in the fall. You go back an hour, not ahead. So that would work if it's in the spring.
Don't talk to me, Pat.
It doesn't work right now.
Thank you. I knew just even some sort of math was just
off.
On the
ever so
periphery.
slightly off. Yeah. Timothy Lanham 1 tweets, Kamala and Biden co-authored a book titled Art of the Steal. Not this time. We definitely hope. And from Point of Impact, as they put on the Jackie specs, many top Democrats, for example, Jamie Raskin, have said Democrats will refuse to certify President Trump. Yeah, I was just reading that story. A reporter must ask Kamala if she will certify the election on January 6th, 2025, when Trump wins. As VP, it's her job, just like it was Mike Pence's job, to fulfill that responsibility. Exactly.
Yeah, and if you don't ask that question, you got to stop asking.
I don't want to hear
who won in 2020.
Exactly.
So
God, it's so aggravating.
Yeah, it sure is. And do I need to make an eye doctor appointment for you so you can get your own pair of specs over there?
No.
You're good?
No, I'm good.
I mean, they're stylish. I don't want to.
Right?
Fine, I mean,
right? They're fine.
It's actually
they're
your
great.
brand now.
Yeah.
They're not Jackie's glasses anymore. they're Pat's look.
They've morphed. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll accept that.
But seriously, that is a legitimate question. Hey, there sure was a lot of controversy and disagreement over certifying in January 6, 2021. Madam Vice President, in your role, are you prepared to certify Donald Trump no matter what? No matter what. If the results say he's the president, he won, you going to certify those? That's a legitimate question. It needs to be the next thing that's asked of her if she ever sticks her head out near a reporter.
Hello, Peter Ducey. Ask. He's probably the only one that would.
Yeah, ask KJP.
Yeah,
ask
sure.
her. And then she'll say,
I'll have to refer you to the Harris campaign, and then you can ask them.
Or tomorrow, Fox News. Brett can ask that.
Brett Baer.
He can ask that question.
Hey, if there's anybody who works at Fox News that watches this show,
pass that question along.
And happens to have
now they can't admit
Bear's
obviously
email or
that they listen to this show because for some reason Fox is mad at us and they don't like it or something. I don't know.
So maybe just slip a note to your friend Brett Baer to ask that question.
I mean, if there were anybody, of course there's not because they're not. I don't think they're supposed to.
They're not allowed.
I think it's like blocked as soon as you go to blazetv.com.
It's blocked.
Fox.
Yeah, if you're a Fox employee,
that's why you don't use the Wi-Fi on your company's network.
Exactly.
Wow, that is that's a question.
That's a good question.
That needs to be asked. Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan. If Brett drops the ball, that's your question.
And when is that? They haven't set that up yet, right?
With who?
No, they're
with
still
Rogan.
No, that just happened. The decision just happened. Yeah,
they're negotiating. I don't know what is there to negotiate.
Right.
Show up in the studio and talk.
The only thing you would have to negotiate is I don't want you to ask certain questions.
Right.
So are you going to agree to that?
No deal.
Then no deal.
Then I do an episode of I'm Joe Rogan with fill in the blank, some political reporter where you just talk about the 2024 campaign, and that right there becomes the first topic of discussion is why things fell through with the Kamala interview.
Because everything else you'll just accommodate, right? If they can't be there at 7 a.m, then you'll tape it later on. I mean, there's no problem there. You just, okay.
Or I'll come to you.
We'll do it at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Or
I'll come to you.
Yeah. Yes.
Sure. You're the vice president of the United States. You tell me where to show it with my microphone and my recorder.
And we'll do it. I do almost anything to be able to ask her all the pertinent questions we want answered from her. And ask her about all the lies that she has told. I'd go just about anywhere to do that. She would never agree to it, but it would be awesome. I would love that opportunity. And, be respectful, but ask her and hold her feet to the fire. If you have to ask the question 14 times, ask it 14 times.
Like 60 Minutes, right? He kept asking that same question 3 times. And
but then you give up after a while.
Then you give up.
But I don't know. I don't know if you should give up. Just make her answer the question.
Yep.
And then move on.
We can sit here. We can do this the hard way.
Yeah,
Madam Vice President.
Right.
I can ask you this question for the next hour or however much time that you've allotted here for
satisfy my need for this answer.
But that would never happen, and that's why they don't show up on shows like this. All right. Former teacher Gwen Walz has an assignment for Kamala Harris voters, but that's fun. That's great. She is, this is cut, what cut is this? 9? Mm-hmm. Okay, cut 9. Gwen Walz assignment. Ugh.
Hey, Kamala HQ. I'm Gwen Walz, and I have been an educator for a really long time, and I'm here with an assignment for you today.
Go.
It's due on November 5th. Now I'm going to put my teacher classes on because this is really serious, like a final, and there's no late work. I need you to take yourself and 3 friends to the ballot box and make your voice heard. You have to vote. I'm going to repeat that again.
Oh, gosh.
You and 3 of your friends have to make your voices heard by voting. If you need more information, just go to iwillvote.com. And remember, no late work.
Those are 2 of the creepiest people in the world, her and Tim.
They're so bizarre, so weird. And they're Marxists.
Yeah.
They're Marxists, which adds a certain je ne sais quoi to the equation, doesn't it?
Yes.
Here was Kamala talking about this. I don't know what she's talking about here. I think she was asked about racism and as it applies to Donald Trump, because Donald Trump was citing some statistics about crime in the inner city. Okay, so obviously that's racism, blah, blah, blah. And here she is answering a question about that. Cut 20.
There's this whole, I talked with somebody once who said, if you just look at where the stars are in the sky.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Don't look at them as just random things. If you just look at them as points, look at the constellation. What does it show you?
Right.
So you just outlined it, Roland. What does it show you?
What?
She was asked about something Trump said about crime in the inner city?
Yeah. Yep. She's trying to say he's a racist because he's using these points in his campaign. I don't know. I guess that's the thing she's trying to say there. But
okay,
I'm sorry. Truth is not racist. It just is. Facts are not racist. They just are. And if it's a fact, it's not racism.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
So yesterday there was a little incident at a J.D. Vance gathering. J.D. handled it pretty well, but here's what happened.
Or the federal government, there's a lot of...
Hold on just a second, man. We okay?
Someone was just stabbed, but don't worry about it. No. Okay, they weren't stabbed.
Kamala Harris built this platform behind us. That's what happened.
Good job on that.
Smooth as silk.
Wait,
right there.
We doing okay, ma'am? We good?
You can have my chair if you want.
Good. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so the bench there behind him
kind of just broke or something.
Yeah, and I mean,
boy.
I think we could see why.
Oh my!
Let me eat.
I didn't notice anything. Why?
Well, there's a lot of weight on that bench.
It's a lot of people.
A lot of people. Too many people for the bench.
Too many butts on that one bench.
That makes perfect sense.
Good way to say it. There was a lot of people on that bench.
Scream is beautiful.
I know,
by the way.
and he didn't even jump. She's like 2 feet away from him.
Or the federal government, there's a lot of...
Well, he did kind of turn his head, but...
Just a second, man.
But he didn't,
we okay?
Hang on.
hit the deck or anything.
No.
A lot of
Richter
people.
Scale.
Look at that.
Measure that.
A lot of people.
A lot of people. Mm-hmm. It's like the scream in the middle of the Ohio Players Love Roller Coaster song. You ever heard that?
Yeah, of course.
No,
Okay.
I haven't.
The big rumor was for a long time that during the recording of Love Roller Coaster, a girl was stabbed to death by her estranged boyfriend.
Wait, in the studio?
Yeah, in the studio.
What a crazy place to do
and
that.
they didn't notice it, or they liked it, or something, and they just left the scream in there. Because it had nothing to do with a roller coaster sound, right?
No.
So
Just someone getting stabbed in the studios.
I really like the stabbed in the studio story, but
that's a good one.
Pretty sure it wasn't true.
I mean, that may have made sense if it was like a ballad or something.
I know.
But
ridiculous. But the name of the song is Love Roller Coaster. Hello. People scream on them, so they put a sound effect in there. But also, yesterday on Overtime, we played the SpaceX rocket returning to Earth successfully on its first try. Watch this. This is really incredible technology. Okay, it's going to settle right in to the launch pad. Look at that. Just recaptured by the launch pad. And there it is. Incredible.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
He released a new angle.
That's down in Brownsville, right?
Yes.
Love it.
He said he released a new angle, which is the camera that is on top of the chopsticks.
Oh, do we have that?
It's even better than this angle.
Okay.
And you have it?
Hold on. Chris is like, we have this great angle. Elon released this incredible angle. I mean, we don't have it, but it's incredible.
But we don't have it? Oh, I thought you were setting it up because we had it.
What is the point? That's something you would say off the air.
I don't know, but thanks, Chris. Thanks for the information. Now, this shot sucks. Okay, I don't know why we're showing this shot. We don't have the other one, but this shot is not good.
Or just quietly try to get that, and then by the time we're done talking about this, it might be ready. But
he's new to the country.
String us along.
We're going to cut him a little slack because he's a brand new citizen.
I want to tell you. Let me describe this incredible shot we have. Well, anyway, maybe he can pull it before this next clip is done. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Elon, 13 years ago, talked about the dream that became a reality over the weekend.
Yes. So cool in retrospect.
Breakthrough that's necessary, that some company has to come up with to make life multiplanetary is a fully and rapidly reusable orbit-class rocket.
Okay.
This is a very difficult thing to do because we live on a planet where that is just barely possible. If gravity were a little lower, it would be easy. If it was a little higher, it would be impossible. Just a very tough engineering problem. I wasn't sure it could be solved for a while. But then I think just so relatively recently, probably in the last 12 months or so, I've come to the conclusion that it can be solved. And I think SpaceX is going to try to do it. Now, we could fail. I'm not saying we're certain of success here, but we're going to try to do it. And we have a design that, on paper, doing the calculations, doing the simulations, it does work. And now we need to make sure that those simulations and reality agree, because generally when they don't, reality wins.
And that was what he was talking about, right?
Yeah,
the ability to settle right back down on the launch pad. That is amazing. That's so cool. And of course, back then, he was a hero. The left was all over that stuff. This man is a genius.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. This guy gets things done. He will probably get us to Mars. Not now.
Yeah.
Not now.
I mean, what was that? Probably at the same time, Donald Trump was a hero to the left, too. They loved him.
Oh, yeah, they did.
They loved him just
yes,
because,
they did.
Look,
and a little update. Elon actually just released another one 45 minutes ago, and it's even better than the one I was going to show you guys.
Which we also don't have?
We do have that one.
Oh!
We have the one that he just released 45 minutes
hold
ago.
Hold on. Before you play it, Joe. I love that. I love the qualifier. Actually, guys, this one's even better than the one that I just pimped to you. Okay, let's go.
All right. Here it is.
No, not that one. There it is.
There it is.
Oh, that's so. This is on board.
This is on board. Yes.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
All right, I'll hand it to you. That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
So if you're listening to it, just know it's cool. Same with the cheering.
So it's
earlier.
from the rocket looking down toward the Earth, and it's about to settle into the launch pad.
Look at that.
God. I mean,
from this
no
angle,
margin.
it doesn't look like it's going to work.
Look,
right
pause
on the
that.
track.
And it does.
Pause that. Because,
Jeez, that's amazing.
Yeah. Pause that right when it's on the lander there.
On the track?
Yeah. Right when it makes contact there, you can leave it there. There's no, I mean, you have no room for error.
No.
Not an inch.
Right. That's right.
I love it.
If you're off at all, that thing's blowing up.
Oh, yes.
And so is the launch pad.
Oh, my goodness.
That is really cool.
And so the
of
government
course,
did this, right? The government did
No,
this?
the government did not do this.
Is that right?
No, that was a private industry.
I see.
That's SpaceX. That's not a government agency.
Okay.
So they do have a contract with the government, so they're getting some funding from the government. But they made a deal with them. We'll get you to Mars. How about that? We'll get you to the moon and Mars. Because we can't, apparently we don't have the ability to do that anymore at NASA.
Imagine if SpaceX had the NASA budget.
Oh my gosh. What is it, 24 billion to 3 billion?
I think
that's a great point. That's a great point,
Yeah,
Chris.
can you imagine?
Okay, so I like Chris's plan there. Let's just hand over just 1 year. Let's just try this for 1 year.
Yes, 1 year.
You know what?
Yes.
We're just gonna move the budget that's appropriated for NASA. We're gonna give it all to SpaceX. We'll give you a little bit so that the janitor can still show up there at the LBJ Space Center, mop up every now and then. Other than that, 1 year we're gonna.
I'll bet even if you split it between SpaceX and Blue Origin or whatever that's called from Bezos, split it. Give them each $12 billion. They would both succeed, would be my guess, and they'd succeed brilliantly.
Yeah, and then we would be proud of the tax money that is going to space exploration.
Right.
But of course, that would set the precedent, which has already been set, of tax dollars going to private industry, and then you're going to piss libertarians like me off, and then you can't win either way with us. So
never mind.
That's true.
Hold on a second. How much money? Do you guys know how much money do we give NASA every year?
$24 billion.
You just said that.
Yeah.
$24 billion. Okay, so what would you be okay with SpaceX and Blue Origin getting, and then
divide the 20.
Just and give a little bit to NASA, right? Because look, all right, you guys need new uniforms.
Yep.
All right, new outfits for space. We'll let you do
new
that.
costumes. Yes.
Seriously, give $10 billion to Blue Origin and SpaceX for 1 year. Let's see what happens. Let's just see an experiment.
It'd be interesting.
Wouldn't hurt.
It really would. I'd almost be in favor of that.
I see that happening with a Trump administration.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he's more likely to do it probably than most Republicans.
Well,
he doesn't mind spending money.
I would much rather dollars appropriated for NASA going toward these private ventures than Muslim outreach overseas.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That Obama gave us.
Oh my gosh.
Let's do some Islamic Nation outreach with our NASA funds.
Make them feel good about themselves. Remind them they've invented geometry or whatever. And let's make that your focus. How about that?
Just
incredible.
I can't with this country.
All right. Is your teen unsure what to do after high school? Then this is really good news. Got a new 6-week life and career skills course from Praxis that may be just what you need. For the past decade, Praxis has helped nearly 1,000 homeschoolers and recent high school graduates launch their careers without college through their mentorship program. And now they're bringing their expertise to teens with their new course, Discover. Discover is a 6-week self-paced course designed to equip teens with essential life and career skills like building a professional network, making money by creating value, and developing a vision for the future. Plus, it includes a coaching call, a free resume review, and a copy of their book, Don't Do Stuff You Hate. And now, for a limited time, they're offering listeners of this show 50% off the course. So just use the promo code UNLEASHED at checkout, and you'll get $374.50 off the price. Visit discoverpraxis.com/blaze. That's discoverpraxis, Praxis. discoverpraxis.com/blaze.
Now, more of Pat Gray Unleashed.
Well, because we didn't celebrate nearly enough yesterday, Indigenous Peoples Day.
You got some white man's guilt over there, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I really do. Pains me a great deal that we completely ignored it.
And you said we'd make up for it.
Yeah, right, exactly. So it might be a day late and a dollar short, but here's Kamala in Arizona on Indigenous Peoples Day yesterday.
Your voice is your vote, and your vote is your power, and never let anybody take your power from you.
I think we're realizing our power and understanding how important our participation is, and how, especially in states like Arizona, where there's 22 tribal nations, and it makes a difference. Our vote makes a difference. Our presence makes a difference.
My work in climate change is informing people about the issues that are currently going on in this world, and how we, as people or people in general, can ensure that we are doing our part.
I'm counting on your leadership, and I'm looking forward to our partnership in the context of your leadership.
In the
what
context
you all are
of,
doing in your generation
in terms
is so
of
powerful.
Your
and
leadership,
you have
so powerful.
Everything at stake.
Oh man, that's beautiful. Wasn't that beautiful?
It was something else.
Oh
man.
gosh, I'm almost moved to tears. That was so beautiful.
Was it the way that one dude pronounced important?
Yeah, important and especially. Those two words really they moved me deeply. Important, especially. Can we please teach our kids how to speak?
No,
properly.
No,
please?
we can't.
We
because
can't.
It's especially important
that we don't teach them
don't
how to speak, how to talk good.
No follow-ups, please.
Oh man. All right. Well, we do have another Harris surrogate. This is
good.
Tony Evers.
Oh, neat. This ought to be fun.
Talking about Donald Trump. I can't wait to hear what he had to say.
Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are a dangerous threat to our country and our democracy.
There you go again. Okay, don't worry about it, though. That's fine. They can continue to say that they're dangerous threats and should be eliminated and somebody should shoot them, and they can say all of those things, I guess. And it's not a problem for the left. It's only a problem if you say that we're targeting a district. That's a problem. That violent rhetoric has to be squelched. Man, have we come a long way since the Sarah Palin targeting some Arizona district days. Oh, my gosh. It's just madness. But
power in the D, man.
Yes.
You can say so much, get away with
say anything.
Anything
you want.
You got a D after your name.
You can call him Hitler. You can tell people he's got to be eliminated. They just did that last week or the week before. So who was it that said he needs to be eliminated?
Hang on.
It wasn't Tlaib, was it?
No,
Maybe
it was an old clip of a congressman.
Oh God. Anyway, they can say anything.
It was that Dan Goldman guy, right? Yeah.
Was it?
Dan Goldman?
Maybe.
Yeah. Dan Goldman, Trump eliminated. Yeah. I mean, that was from... Yeah, and he apologized for it, but Representative Dan Goldman back in November said that. But yeah.
Ugh, brother.
But I mean, two standards, man.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And it's extreme on both. It's like you can't even, like you said, mention the word target a district.
No.
If you're on the right.
Right.
But if you're on the left, you can get away with anything.
And if Glenn ever mentioned Nazis in the past, do you remember how they used to? They would come unglued. They'd swallow their tongues over it.
Mm-hmm.
How dare you come out the Nazis? The Nazis already we killed 6 million times.
Shut up. But now they can compare Trump every day to Hitler. And it's perfectly fine and acceptable. Ugh, it's agonizing. Yep. And yet, Bill Maher still thinks Kamala Harris is going to win. Here's what he just predicted.
Uh-oh.
So what are you going to do if Trump wins? Nothing.
Dr. Phil.
Nothing. Going on with my show and making jokes at his expense every week. And that's why this is a great country. Because as crazy as he is, he didn't do anything about it the first time. So I'm just not going to lose my nervous system about. Now he could. He's insane. So he could start sending people to Guantanamo Bay. I don't put anything past this guy. He thinks they're eating the cats and the dogs.
Because they are.
But am I going to worry about it? First of all, I'm not going to worry about it, Phil, because he's not going to win.
So you think he's just worn it out? You think people are just going to get fatigued?
Enough. I feel
category fatigue.
I mean, it's just going to be, we're talking about a few 100,000 people perhaps, but I think it's going to be a little closer than that. First of all, she's definitely going to win the popular vote, as Democrats almost always do now. But I think she will win.
Ballots,
I think he will, of course, go bat insane, as he always does. He won't accept it. His followers, I think, I don't think their heart will really be in it, as it was in 2020. Some of them, there's lots of people who will always be in the bunker with Mrs. Goebbels taking the poison and giving the poison to the children because it's better than living in a world without National Socialism. I make an analogy, but I don't say he's a Nazi. But I think for most people, it's just fatigue. Yes, I think it's time.
Okay, so not everything Bill Maher says makes a lot of sense.
Right.
It's nice to be reminded of that from time to time. He's still a douchebag.
Especially when he's smoking the weed.
Yeah.
The true self comes out.
Yeah. Is that what that show is? Do they just smoke weed and then just babble?
I was very curious that Dr. Phil joined that.
Yeah, that's weird.
It was really weird.
It's weird. Apparently, between the Kamala Harris and Joe Biden camps, there's some tension going on. You've been seeing that, hearing about that? The relationship between Kamala Harris's team and Joe Biden's White House has been increasingly difficult in the last few weeks, according to 10 people that Axios talked to. Biden's team supposedly wants Harris to win the election, but many senior Biden aides remain wounded by the president being pushed out of his re-election bid and are still adjusting to being in a supporting role on the campaign trail. They don't want her to win. I don't think they do.
I don't think so either.
I don't think they do.
I think Joe Biden wants to be able to say, could have had me for another 4 years. I mean, if this is the best you can do.
I tried to tell you I'm the only one who could beat him. I tried to tell you that. Oh, he wants to be able to say that so badly.
Yep.
And Jill, Dr. Jill is going to be all over that if they lose in November. But some on the Harris team say that top White House aides aren't sufficiently coordinating Biden's message and schedule to align with what's best for the vice president's campaign. Biden gave an impromptu press conference in the White House briefing room on Friday, just as Kamala was about to do an event in Michigan, so she got less TV coverage than she otherwise would have. And they're mad about that. Earlier in the week, you remember this, we talked about this, Harris criticized Ron DeSantis for not taking her call about the hurricane, only to have Biden praise DeSantis right after for being gracious and cooperative and doing a good job. Oh, that had to piss them off so much. Oh, I love that. I love it. Biden's been eager to boast about a robust jobs report, helping to end the strike by the longshoremen's union, which he had nothing to stinking do with, and other perceived victories recently. Harris has been trying to focus on voters' pocketbook concerns, including inflation. So she wants to distance herself from all of that Biden created all by himself. She was trying to talk him out of those terrible policies, I'm sure. One person involved with Harris's campaign told Axios the White House is lacking someone in the room thinking first and foremost about how things would affect the campaign. Well, I'm sure they're not doing that. And the tensions have played out on the staff level, too. Harris's team has been trying to add staff to the vice president's official office to handle the bigger workload. It's been frustrated at the White House's pace in getting people detailed for that. The White House has been working to help Harris's team, but has been frustrated by some of the rules about who can be detailed and when. Several Biden aides have joined Harris's campaign, but some feel like they've been labeled as disloyal by Biden's team for leaving or even considering leaving. Oh, I bet. I bet he hates that. Because the whole perception is that he's gone. Nobody pays attention to him at all.
So irrelevant.
And he can't stand that she's already. And in that meeting last week that he had with the cabinet, they were all sitting around that long table, and they wanted her to speak about the FEMA situation and all of that. And you could tell that there's some tension there between them. That he has already felt like she's the president and I'm gone.
Yeah.
Because he called her the president, and then he said, "No, I mean vice president," sarcastically. And so he's pissed about it, and he is. And then somebody tapped him on the arm and pointed to Kamala like it's her turn. He's like, "I know." He got really pissy, and you know how he goes from 0 to 1,000 anger-wise. Oh, he went to about 3,000 with that.
I didn't see that.
I didn't see that
That's
either.
amazing.
Very pissed.
Can I just say, I know this isn't the point you're making, but you just mentioned the longshoreman strike coming to an end, temporarily at least. I think it had obviously nothing to do with Joe Biden and everything to do with when DeSantis said, "You know what? The National Guard's going to take over the ports here in Florida. We'll handle it. We'll figure it out."
I agree with that. It was more Ron DeSantis than it was Joe Biden.
He's a leader, man.
It's for sure. Yep. But he's a good governor. You wouldn't want him in the presidency. You want him to be the governor.
You're going to have to let that go.
I know.
You definitely have to let that go, bro.
I would love to have 50 Ron DeSantis's, because if you did...
I would too. The
We'd
presidency
fix the country. And our nail biter here wouldn't even matter.
It wouldn't matter as much. Yeah. All right, we will see you on Overtime, and back here tomorrow. Jeffy will join us to chew the fat. We'll see you then.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.